Okay, guys, so things are not looking good. Things are not looking good. This time, this news article was posted on Jerusalem Post. They have now a new commander-in-chief for the Air Force of Israel. And this person, this Air Force chief, he is now saying that we are going to strike Iran. He's adding to the already fiery rhetoric that we have seen from Israel. He's adding to it. He's making absolutely 100% sure that Israel is going to go after Iran. And we have seen what US intelligence chief Jake, he went to Israel to talk with Israeli government and the military to find out a plan, to make a plan, to decide or to map things out as to when and how they are going to strike Iranian nuclear facilities. Now, this is not something you can play with. This person, he went, Jake Sullivan, he went to Israel. He would not have gone there had it not been for a very, very serious purpose. This time, they're not playing around. The Vienna talk, it doesn't matter whether it will pass, whether it will fail, doesn't matter. They are going to go after Iranian nuclear facilities, and this is going to be every single day more likely to happen. Excuse me. So what we have seen, Israel, he said Israel could successfully strike Iran's nuclear program tomorrow. Quote, if necessary, incoming commander of Israel Air Force Major General Tamar Bar said in an interview on Wednesday. We could strike Iran tomorrow. Tomorrow. I mean, this is how willing they are to get rid of Iran once and for all. Tomorrow. We have no time and we're all ready for it. Bar, this person, Tamar Bar, he said, and he is actually the who currently commands the Force Design Directorate, will take command of the Air Force in April and could be the officer who will need to command a strike against Iran's nuclear program should ongoing talks in Vienna between Tehran and world powers fail. So this person, okay, Tamar Bar, why he is important is because he is going to be directly in charge, to strike Iran. He is going to be commanding his pilots, his fighter jets, to go and strike Iran. And this is why his comments are so important and very, very serious. Bar, who currently commands the Force Design Directorate. Okay, so he said, quote, I have to assume it will happen in my time, he's saying, and my shoulders already understand the weight of the responsibility. Okay, he was talking to this news outlet, looks like Yediot Aharonot. Okay, this is where he was talking about this whole thing. When asked, quote, when asked if he thinks Israel can successfully destroy Iran's nuclear facilities, Bar stressed that, quote, there is no way, listen to this, very, very interesting, there is no way that we will operate there, means in Iran, 1,000 kilometers from here, means from Israel, and I will return home without being able to say I completed the mission. Look at his commitment. Look at his pride. Look at how he's talking about this whole thing. He said, if you go 1,000 kilometers away from your homeland and you carry out a mission, you spend millions, if not billions of dollars. You put people's life on the line, the pilots, the army, the military, and you do not succeed. This is what he's saying. Of course not. He said, we will succeed. I am going to complete the mission, quote unquote. Despite reports about the lack of budget hindering the IDF's preparations for a possible strike on Iran, the incoming IAF commander said that the situation, quote unquote, is not black and white. From the moment, he said, from the moment I sat here at the head of the Force Design Directorate, and the Chief of Staff spoke with me. The mission of the, now they call it third circle, okay, the whole mission of Iran, they call it quote unquote third circle. I don't know why they call it third circle. He said it was already there. Barr told to the news outlet, quote, "We are not starting from zero. We equipped ourselves with F-35s." And I mentioned to you why F-35 is so effective, especially in this kind of operations where Israel will have to travel hundreds of kilometers. F-35 is the best choice, and this is why perhaps he's showing so much pride, and I mean sometimes you might even say he's just flexing his muscle, if you like. Then he said, not know how to get to the third circle. Then he asked this question: we equipped ourselves with F-35 and we would not know how to get to Iran? This is the question he asked. So he has so much confidence in his equipments, in his weapon, that he said, almost he's saying that consider it done. We procured thousands of Iron Dome interceptors for multi-layer defense. Now let's take a look at this. Okay, let's take a look at this picture. As you can see, this is something US has refused to give to Israel, and this is something they need from US. Why? Because remember I told you they will have to travel 1,000 kilometers approximately to reach to Iran. For that they need refueling for their fighter jets. US is saying we are not going to give it to you. Biden administration, they refused, and the reason for that is because Biden administration, they do not want any conflict between Iran and Israel without US giving them permission. Okay, now that this person Jake Sullivan, the intelligence chief, is in Israel, obviously looks like things are getting a lot more clearer now for all of us, that US will eventually give Israel this refueling jets, if you like, so that when they go to, or when they will be targeting Iranian nuclear sites and their fighter jets would need the refueling, they will not have any problem. So again, this is something Biden administration is holding, and they're not giving it to Israel yet. Concerning the reported US refusal to advance the delivery of two KC-46 tanker refueling aircraft to Israel, Barr said, now Barr, this Tamar Barr, this new chief for the Iranian military, for the Iranian Air Force, he's saying that we know at the end of the day US is going to help us. Now they're refusing to give us this aircraft, but we know US loves us. They are with us, and we know it will come just on time. On the northern front of Lebanon, Barr said, so Lebanon is very, very important. Remember, Lebanon is very, very important for them because Iran is there too. Okay. Barr said he believes that the next war with Hezbollah will break out as soon as Israel strikes Iran. And this is, this goes without saying that if Israel goes after Iran, before I think even they reach to Iran, Hezbollah will already start firing missiles at them. There is no doubt about that. I don't think Hezbollah will wait for that long to see what Israel will do. No, I don't think so. Then he said, quote, I have to assume that Hezbollah will automatically be all in. 30 years he has waited for this order, and there is no way that we will not be there, and with the highest intensity. Barr said, quote, we have to be prepared for this, end quote. They are leaving no stone unturned. Okay, put it that way. Okay, as simple as that. no stone unturned. They're ready for everything. The outgoing Foreign Design Directorate had stressed that Third Lebanon War, quote unquote, cannot be compared to the first 2 wars with Lebanon. Quote, this is not raising the volume on the same radio. The familiarity with Hezbollah, the number of targets, the strength built over the years in matters of intelligence and attack capability, electronic warfare, cyber, make it a whole different scenario. I can, quote, I can stand by my word. Now, what does it mean? So basically, Tomar Bar, he is saying, things have changed. We have gained momentum, we have gained strength, we have now new technology, new warfare technology, we have a new way of gaining intelligence. In other words, according to him, I mean, there is really no reason for Israel to wait any longer to attack Iran. They're already there, according to him. Bar added that the next war with Lebanon will definitely involve a ground operation, saying that combined with the effectiveness of the IAF, quote, is something else entirely. Okay, Israeli Air Force, he is saying, is not the same air force that the world has seen before. It is completely new. Even Hezbollah, he said, quote, even Hezbollah does not know how to imagine our power, end quote. Can you imagine? He's saying that, look, Hezbollah, whoever you are, don't mess with us. he's making it absolutely clear that he's willing on day 1 to go after Iran. He said, quote, maybe they will try to bring in special forces or shoot at the home front, but we are no longer on this scale. We want a clear victory this time, in a shorter time and with fewer losses, end quote. Wow, this is coming like from incoming Israeli Air Force chief. It's not something you can just ignore. This is something unbelievable. The full interview bar will be published on Friday, 7 Days of the magazine. Meanwhile, U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan landed in Israel on Tuesday. So that happened again, as I said yesterday, to hold detailed discussions with Prime Minister Naftali Bennett on Iran's nuclear program. U.S. and Israel officials will talk about how they see the coming weeks unfolding with Iran during the discussions, a senior Biden administration official told Reuters. Okay, so what they are going to Israel for, it is because they are going to hold talk, and they will see how these coming weeks, coming days, things will unfold with the Iran during the discussions, a senior Biden administration. So Biden administration, they're still holding the card. They're still not saying that after Vienna talk, we will be attacking Iran. They're not still saying that. However, if you take a look at all these, diplomatic movements between these two countries, Israel and the US, it is absolutely clear that something is brewing up. Okay, something is brewing up, something is happening, and we will see it very soon. Quote, we will talk about where we see the state of Iran's nuclear program and some of the timelines, end quote, the official said. It will be a good opportunity to sit down face to face and talk about the state of the talks and the time frame in which we are working, and to re-emphasize that we don't have much time. In other words, Israel, as I said, they have said it in the past, they're saying it again and again, that we are ready. There is no reason for us to wait any longer and see what Iran will do. Thank you guys for tuning in, for joining in for this session. If you're new here, consider subscribing. We'll be talking a lot about the Iran-Israel issue. And new here, consider subscribing. Leave a comment. Let me know your opinion, your thoughts. I'll see you in the next video. I'll have to sign off here now. I don't have anything else to share. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.